Fear, it's that thing that keeps you thinking, that makes you worried. At times, it gets your heart racing, or you may even break out in a cold sweat. Have you ever felt like that before? I have. Hi, my name is Kofo, and I am a life coach. With my expertise, I've been able to help teenagers, adults, both single and married, and I've come to see a lot of good come out of my interaction with people dealing with various challenges in life. If you know anyone that has challenges with navigating certain issues in life, please share my content with them. Also like and subscribe. Everyone is faced with fear. Those who have courage have a certain amount of fear they deal with. Those who lack courage have a certain amount of fear they deal with. The difference between the two sets of people is that one launches forward to get something going, while the other one runs back and doesn't want to do anything. So whether you want to do something or whether you're afraid to do something, you're afraid, but the difference is you either decide to step forward to achieve your goal or freeze in fear. So if both sets of people have fear, why don't you choose to be that one that, even though he or she is afraid, steps forward to start doing something or achieving his or her goal? There are different types of fears. There's the fear of the unknown. What does tomorrow hold? Will I have a job tomorrow? Will I get married tomorrow? Even if I get married, will I stay married? There's the fear of flying. Some people are afraid to get into airplanes. There's the fear of butterflies. You may say butterflies are such beautiful creatures, but there are actually people that are afraid of butterflies. There are people that are afraid of snakes. There's the fear of forgetting someone or forgetting something, or the fear that you yourself might be forgotten. Let me blow your mind. There's also the fear of dolls. Some people are afraid of dolls. And there's the fear of everything. Yes, there are people like that. They are afraid of everything. They're afraid to go out of their house. They're afraid to stay indoors. They're afraid to start a job. They're afraid to get committed to anyone. There are 3 things you mustn't do when you find yourself in a fearful place. Now, the first thing you mustn't do is fight. There are certain people, when you're trying to correct them or let them know there's something wrong with the way you are trying to address this issue. Someone is trying to do a task, for example, and you can see that the person is not doing it well. And I say, okay, hold up. You need to change this strategy. And the person goes, hey, why are you telling me what to do? I've been doing this for 20 years. What makes you think I don't know what to do? So that is a wrong way to attack fear. Another way that you must attack fear is to flee. All right? And there are certain people as well, when you are telling them, I can notice that this thing is going wrong. Let's talk about it. They say, no. Next time, not today. Or I don't feel like talking about it. And you feel, okay, maybe they are like that at this certain point. Let me give them some space. And you come back maybe after a few days or weeks and say, okay, remember this thing we are trying. The person says, you know what? No. I'm not in the mood to talk about it. I'm not in the place to talk about it. So it's not that person doesn't want to talk about it, but they just don't want to interact with that thing that causes them fear. So they flee. Now, the last thing you shouldn't do when it comes to fear is ignore it. And something is going wrong, and you just pretend as if that thing is not there. You know that somebody is always trying to impose themselves on you, always trying to have their ways and bully you more or less, and you just tell yourself it's nothing. It actually is something, because it's what you don't like and you're afraid of it, and you don't know how to confront it, or you don't want to confront it at all, so you ignore. That's not a good way to deal with fear. Now, I'm going to give you strategies that you can work with to deal with fear, so that you're in better control of your life. I mean, you can't be freaking out, you can't be worried, you can't be having sleepless nights just because of certain feelings you have that something will go wrong. Because it's been known that 85 to 95% of the things we fear never happen. So why allow fear control your life? So the first thing you must do is you must be aware that you have a certain fear. For example, you must be aware that you're afraid of spiders or you're afraid of dogs. You must be aware that you're afraid when faced with that interview, or when you're about to write that exam. You must be aware that you have the fear, because to remember to deny it is not going to work for you. Now, another way is, the second way is to experience the fear. For example, if you're afraid of heights, you can start by maybe taking a short flight, maybe from one part of Nigeria to another part of Nigeria, maybe a flight that could take half an hour or an hour. And another thing is, you need to get some information about whatever it is you're afraid of, because for someone that is afraid of flying is actually the safest way of traveling. So you need to get these details to encourage yourself, and then look around you, see the people that travel a lot. Some people's jobs entail them traveling a lot, so you have to get those certain information and see the examples and encourage yourself, knowing that you don't have to be afraid of that. Another example is someone that is afraid of dogs, so you might try by just interacting with maybe little puppies or people that have dogs, and you can see from the way the dog interacts that there's no need for you to be afraid. And sometimes you don't really have to. I'll use myself as an example. We have a dog, and he's adorable really, but he can be very fierce. So when I'm going out, people want to come near him, I tell them, don't come near this dog, it can be very vicious. So it's not everything you might be able to interact with. And then sometimes when I go out and maybe I'm walking down the road in the estate, I see someone with a dog, I don't move on to touch that dog because I have a dog. So I'm always very careful, because I've seen how dogs can be very vicious. So I can be walking on the road and see a dog coming from a distance from the lane I'm on. What do? I cross the other lane. So in this example, you can actually avoid it, because if you say, okay, you are not afraid of everything, that doesn't mean that it's everything that comes to you just delve into. There are some things that is actually better that you avoid. So like I've said, it's not every fear you delve into. There are some fears that are real and you have to deal with them. Okay? So one fear that we sometimes have is, when you are dealing with someone that is vicious or that is mean or that can be violent. Now, in that scenario, I wouldn't say delve into it and face your fears, no, because in that situation, you are actually in danger if the person wants to inflict pain at you, that can be evident, or even if it's not evident, if it's a pain that comes, like I've discussed in one of my videos, it's a verbal pain, because you can inflict verbal wounds on somebody psychologically with the kind of words you speak. So in those kind of situations, it's actually best to remove yourself from that situation. So if it's a work situation whereby somebody is harassing you, or somebody is trying to harass you, sexually. So you need to let the person know that you're not going down like that. You don't do such thing. And if the person refuses to stop what he or she is doing, you need to report to someone of higher authority so they can call him or her to order. So there are some certain situations that are actually make you to be afraid, and you need to detach yourself from that. Now there's the fear of maybe you want to write an exam or you have an interview. There's this fear of, oh, am I going to pass the exam? Am I going to scale through this interview? I'll give you this true life scenario because I know that resounds with people, and it makes you know that somebody feels what you're going through. So it was an interview with a panel, and in that organization, it was a very big deal, to scale through that interview in order to be, an award winner, So having prayed, I stepped into the boardroom where the panel was, and oh my goodness, my heart literally jumped into my mouth because seated on that board was someone that maybe a year or 2 years before had sat in a meeting with my husband and I then, and basically was trying to help walk through a certain scenario that wasn't very good in any way. And I said to myself, oh my goodness, this person is on this panel. That is it. There's just no way, And it was, I went through the interview and that was it. And a few months later, when the awards were to be given, I was in a state of shock when I discovered that in my category, not only did I get an award, I got the highest award in my category. So what I'm saying to you, that sometimes those fears are unfounded, and like I said earlier, some fears never come to materialize. It's just the way we are and the world we live in, where there are lots of negativity. And I'm trying to look for different scenarios to be able to reach out to you wherever you may be. And sometimes the same thing applies to a job. You go for an interview, just don't let that fear ruin what you're going to do. Put it on God and go in and give it your best shot and see what God does. And sometimes it's somebody waiting on God for a child. Is it easy to wait on God for a child? Of course it's not easy. It's very difficult because all sorts of things come at you. Your age comes at you, the society comes at you, your fears come at you, and they keep telling you it's too late, it's too late, it's too late. So, like I said before, put it on God and trust that He will come through for you because He's faithful. And for that person that is afraid, oh, I think my spouse is going to leave me. There were certain things you did when you met that spouse. Check yourself and find out if you are falling short. If you are falling short, try to up your game. And once again, put it in God's hands, because I've seen a lot of people that had issues and it looked as if that spouse was going to leave them for one reason or the other, and they prayed and they put it on God, and God came through for them. And like I've said, if you know anyone in that category or that needs help, please check the description video for details to which or to how you can reach out to me. So we can actually, deal with the fear such that it doesn't deal with us. Take a minute now and just close your eyes and just imagine your job or your business. Just imagine you wake up and you find out that you've lost all the money in your account. I mean, the thought of it, how did it make you feel? I'm sure it wasn't a pleasant thought. And if you're like me, if I wouldn't even process that because I've learned to channel my mind in a way that when something fearful comes at me, I begin to tell myself good things are going to come to me, and I begin to remind myself of so many things that God has done. Let's look at another scenario. Close your eyes for a few seconds and just imagine your earnings just doubled. You just found out that your salary or your business income had doubled overnight, how would you feel? I'm sure that if it didn't make you laugh, you put a smile on your face. So it's very important that you think good thoughts. It's very important that you soak yourself with things that are positive. Listen to things that are positive. Listen to testimonies. Listen to people that are positive, because you go around some people and they are toxic. You leave some people and in fact they empower your fear more. That's what happened to this person, that's what happened to that person, that's how that person died. No, you don't want to surround yourself with such people. Surround yourself with people that are positive, people that will encourage you, people that will pray with you and for you. At times, look for a trusted friend. Like I said in one of my videos, not everybody is trusted. Someone that you know that when you share with them, even if they cannot give you a solution right there, they'll say, don't worry, everything's going to be all right. They will give you a hug. At times you need to have a warm bath, just relaxing and putting your feet up and thinking of good things that has happened before. At times you need to listen to good, lovely, soothing music. You know, all this can help you calm your fears and help you put you in a place where you're able to relax and say, okay, these good things have happened for me before and they will happen again. And another good thing you can do to help you is each night write down what I'm thankful for. No matter how small and no matter, just write it down. And I tell you, because I do it, at times you flip through and your mind is blown how you were able to scale through certain situations. Some of them were little, some of them were really dire. But you see how you were able to scale through, how God provided for you, how those things that you were afraid of didn't happen. So what you think matters a lot. Be careful what you think and choose what you think. Choose who you want to listen to. Choose the kind of music you want to listen to. And that goes a long way to filling your heart with what will give you the boldness to stand and know that fear has no power over you. If this video has been useful to you, I'm very glad. And if you know someone that is dealing with fear in one way or the other, please share this video with them. I'd like you to share with others, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button.